In today's story, we finally reached the point where avoiding any sort of humans can be physically hurt aspect is just finally thrown out the window. I mean, want to crush a teenage girl under a 5-ton container? Sure, why not?
Funny.
Give all your rarest cards to your enemy, all my fellow future outlaws. This is his Cards Games vs. Humanity, and I am that NAKK Double G. Here with another recap of our favorite card game show. I think the name of it's called Bat and Kaidos or something. I might be way off. As per usual, if you enjoyed, don't forget that sub, that bell, that like, hit up the Patreon if you want to support me. Leave a comment, tell me if you're just as surprised as I am at how long Kaiba just kind of stands there and says and does nothing for most of this duel. Really the kind of nothing that Merrick plans on doing when he rules the world. Thanks to his two new mind slaves, Joey and Taya, aka these two teenagers that he bribed with some trading cards. Odeon appears with 12 locator cards that he apparently must have just gotten during the 30 minutes that were flashbacking in the last episode, allowing them both to go to the finals in case this plan fails, which it definitely seems like it's going to.
In which case you've wasted a great deal of time.
I mean, not really. He got them all off screen within like one episode. Eric hands over a bunch of his rarest magic cards over to Joey, who just quickly slams them down on top of his deck with no shuffling or strategy. It's just a 60 card deck that's virtually unbeatable now. I mean, it'd be such a shame if we couldn't get those cards back should this plan not work out. I mean, that'd be such a shame, wouldn't it? This isn't a good plan, is it? Yugi is ready to rumble as soon as they hit the ground, but Kaiba says because this is his choppa, he's the one that gets to call the shot. He only cares about the third Egyptian god card, and he will turn this helicopter around if Yugi doesn't behave. Our hero claims that Joey and Taya are in great danger and need to be saved first. Kaiba, on the other hand, just does his best impression of the US government.
Haven't you realized by now that teamwork's not my thing?
Seto says it was his skills that were able to defeat the rare hunters in their last duel, despite the fact that it was Yugi that saved his ass multiple times. Not to mention, he's the one that literally provided the 3 monsters that allowed him to summon Obelisk in the first place. Yugi decides that he'll just have to save his friends on his own before they notice a familiar figure in the distance. It looks like someone who's barely paying attention, so they just kind of assume it's Joey.
When that fool realizes I've turned his best friend against—
Okay, that helicopter was less than 2 frames from hitting the fucking ground. I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure you can't just come flying in at 200 miles an hour and then stabilize yourself like 2 feet above the ground. Despite Joey's entire personality and voice being different, Kaiba assumes that this must be just one of Merrick's tricks, that he just really likes voice changers. Oh wait, no, he's diving further into this weird conspiracy mode. As Kaiba says that Merrick must have found a way to turn Joey against him and he's working for the rare hunters now, and maybe he has the third Egyptian god card in his deck. And like, really? After all the crap you said about him, you assume they're gonna give it to Joey? Like, really? He tries his best to talk to Joey and make him remember the promise that he made to him, and oh look, it's a flashback. I'm not fucking doing it again.
Merrick's power is feeble compared to the strength of our friendship.
It's honestly a little scary how you could just replace Merrick's name with just about any anime villain from the 90s and that statement still remains accurate. This may come to you as an unfortunate surprise, but Taya is now under Merrick's control as well. Because I guess he was thinking there was a small chance that Yugi wouldn't have minded. He does the terrifying act of walking down these metal stairs slowly and then slowly walking past Yugi because Merrick knew that Yugi would follow that booty into battle any day. This is Joey he's being forced to duel against. Surely he wouldn't want to go through with that.
For the highest stakes imaginable!
All right, let's duel.
Okay, now he's ready to duel. I mean, you know, as long as there's some sort of life-threatening situation to gamble on, Yugi's ready. Otherwise, it's just not fun anymore. Both players are handcuffed to this large anchor that will crash into the sea and drag them both with it, essentially removing any possible way to avoid the fact that someone's probably gonna die at the end of this duel, so we're just gonna have to go with it. The match has a 60-minute time limit, and should Yugi try to cheat, both players will be dragged down into the sea at the same time, essentially ruining any possibility for me to complete my goals and actually take your god card and puzzle in the way that I need to. Oh, by the way, don't pay attention to the large crate hanging above Taya, who's now sitting in the sophisticated bondage chair. Don't pay attention to any of the death that could happen here. As head of the Battle City tournament, Kaiba demands that this duel be stopped. If you look closely at one of the same 3 rare hunters that we always see operating this crane, you'll see that if Kaiba does anything to interfere with this match, I will literally flatten her like a pancake in front of all of us, crushing her bones in a bloody embrace. This is a kid's show. Merrick tells Yugi that his god card is off limits in this duel, and for some reason Yugi agrees instantly with no fight, claiming that the card is too dangerous anyways, and I'd argue with him, but last time it literally struck the ground with, like, the force of dynamite, so it's a bit of a gamble.
I keep my special cards in here.
I'm having a hard time deciding whether or not that's actually cool because it's like the beginning of a Batman tool belt, or if it's really lame because it's basically just a fanny pack. But look, I see Red Eyes in here. Let me use the worst version of Dark Magician in my deck with no synergies to support it. That should help me win. Yugi throws this special one-of-a-kind god card on the ground like it doesn't matter as this duel finally gets underway. Naturally, let's head over to Tristan and Serenity to see what boring crap they're doing together. Oh look, it's a flashback of Joey and Serenity playing together as kids. Huh. No parents around. That's surprising. Unfortunately for them, and definitely not because he wasn't thinking about anything but titties, Tristan never actually found out where he's supposed to meet the gang after picking up Serenity, attempting to call Taya on the payphone.
That girl's always got her phone on.
I'm not sure why that kid was so happy when he saw Tristan. You might want to get out of there. Back to our duel, Merrick tells Yugi to go first because he knows he's too scared to actually do something to hurt Joey, to which he does comply, simply setting a gazelle in defense mode and ending his turn.
Say goodbye to your gazelle, for I play Raigeki, which destroys it.
And literally the one goddamn time they use Raigeki in the show, and they don't even show the card. It's just like this weak-ass lightning bolt that destroys one monster and then it's over. I can't be the only one who was upset about that. Evil Joey summons the almighty alligator sword and attacks Yugi directly, leaving our hero with only 2,500 life points on the first turn before summoning Big Shield Garden to protect himself. Unfortunately for Yugi, Merrick has Hinotama, such a powerful card for 500 direct damage. Yugi's already down to 2,000 life points and seemingly ready for defeat already.
That third-rate duelist Wheeler never had cards that powerful in his deck.
I know they only have 4,000 life points, but even then I'm not sure I consider that powerful. But then again, this is a man who chooses actively to not use Harpy Feather Duster in his deck, so maybe I'm the idiot. Back to Tristan and Serenity, who are walking down the street not knowing where to go when all of a sudden some thugs in mysterious robes appear around them. But since Serenity is blind as Ray Charles, she has to get on his back and run away, not because he thought they were dangerous, but because he thought it was an improv group that needed 2 extra actors. Leia finally wakes up from her acid trip, wondering what the hell is going on, so Mokuba looks at her and tells her what the hell is going on. She finally gets it that Merrick is the one that Shizu warned them about, oh, I don't know, 51 episodes ago?
So don't test me!
You wouldn't do it. You don't have the guts.
Never mind. Taya's kind of a badass. It's Yugi's turn, and he knows that even under Merrick's control, using basic moves are the best way to confuse the young duelist Joey. Hitting one face-down card and summoning Karibo in attack mode. That's not a bait. Because Merrick is a good duelist, he just blindly attacks and gets caught in the spellbinding basic bitch circle, reducing the monster's attack to 800, a value that's still too high for any of his monsters to defeat. Jesus Christ. The episode ends with Merrick activating another Hinotama magic card, reducing Yugi's life points to 1,500 and pissing me off because it didn't even have an animation. But that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching, and of course a shout out to all my patrons. If you yourself are addicted to a bunch of rare and powerful burn cards like Hinotama, I'd like to introduce you to my new favorite friend. I have 3 of them in my deck already. Their name is Sparks. This has been the man from Earth with all the girth, ladies and gentlemen. We're already over 500 subs, so I want to thank you all. We're getting that 1,000 this year. We might even get 2K. Let's do it. Later. Odeon appears with 12 It's honestly a little scary how you could just replace Merrick's name with just about any nanny. Evil Joey summons the almighty alligator swords and attack. Alligator swords? Okay, that helicopter was like less than 2 frames from hitting the fucking ground. I'm not